Broadcasting via Facebook, Prime Minister Eddie Rama agreed to provide greater support for students, including lowering fees and improving dormitory conditions, though ruled out a 50% reduction in tuition across the board. Following the Prime Minister's live broadcast on Facebook, students continued their protest with the calls, "Shame! We will go to the streets in the hundreds of thousands if the tariff is not removed by the ministry." The gambling law, which comes into effect on January 1, is already seeing an impact, with over 4,000 venues offering lotteries or betting having already ceased conducting their activity and another 300 in the process of closing. Good evening, it's 6:04 on Monday the 10th of December 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Prime Minister Eddie Rama disagrees with lowering student fees, but has come up with an alternative proposal. During live communication broadcast via Facebook, the head of the government said he will be willing to offer greater support to students and provide assistance with tuition fees. No tariff has changed since 2014. The reform has not affected tariffs. Tariffs in 2015 were set by the universities under the concept of university autonomy. In Montenegro, where the income is only slightly higher than here, the tuition fees for a bachelor program are around 1,500 euros, while in Serbia it is between 4 and 12 times higher, explained the Prime Minister. According to Eddie Rama, fees are mismanaged by universities, but the funds are not stolen. When we talk about education in peacetime, no one listens to us, added Rama. He went on to say that the education budget has increased since 2014. I'm talking with facts. Has the higher education budget increased, or has it not increased since 2014 until now? Well, today it's over 8 billion. University fundraising fees were 41 billion in 2014, and they are 41 billion now. There is no increase. The daily cost for tuition at bachelor level is equivalent to the cost of a daily espresso or, in the most severe cases, a cappuccino. In regards to fees, I am definitely ready to discuss and review, not exactly for the fee amount, but for the state and government support provided. We will give you 50% of the allocated budget. For students with exceptional results, we will pay the entire tuition cost. Why not remove the tariffs also for those from low socioeconomic backgrounds? But to make them all 50% lower, I do not think so, Rama concluded. Prime Minister Rama proposed to students to dismiss all government representatives on the boards of the universities and then replace them with people chosen by the students. However, Rama added that no action will be taken without dialogue with the students. Let's talk. I am ready to dismiss all government representatives on university boards. It does not work in any way to have student representatives on the administration boards. This is not the time of the Chinese Cultural Revolution. If you bring an example of a single country that has students on the board of university administration, then fine, let's become the second, Rama continued. However, no such place has been identified other than China during the time of the Cultural Revolution. Rama did give a solution, though, for the government representative appointed to the board of the administration to be chosen by the students. In this way, it's not the government's choice, but you choosing it. The law of higher education does not have to touch it. We are trying to implement best practice and to build Albania, a vision which differs from the interests of Luli and Monica, concluded Rama. The Prime Minister invited students to dialogue with the government whilst maintaining the call for them to distance themselves from the opposition. Hundreds of students continued to protest again today, remaining parked in front of the Ministry of Education and expressing their determination to see their 8 demands met with the call, "There is no negotiation, only decision-making." Students of the Polytechnic, Economics and Art universities were all participating in the action before the Ministry of Education. Elbasan and Girocastra also erupted into student protests today, albeit smaller in number, in front of the universities. During the protest, students were found singing the national anthem. "All Tirana is with us," called a student. The protest has been consistently peaceful, with students calling for union amongst other students as well as the broader citizen population. Eddie Rama cast the suspicion that some students and youth have been infiltrated by the Democratic Party and Socialist Movement for Integration, but the students rejected this suggestion. Instead, they reiterated demands before calling, "We will take to the streets in the hundreds of thousands if the tariff is not removed by the ministry. If you think you will be able to divide us, forget it. The united students will win," said another student. Prime Minister Rama spoke from his office premises while students continued to protest in front of the Ministry of Education. I strongly believe that dialogue is necessary. I will continue to communicate and try to explain why dialogue is the only way. I did not ask for negotiations. The government asks for dialogue. We have nothing to negotiate, but we do need to talk, expressed Rama. Meanwhile, from the square, students called for decision-making rather than negotiations. This is a protest of students. Do not let politics and violence divide you, called a student. There are professors who demand 250 to 300 euros for an exam. This is a historic protest. Students have warned they will not enter into any kind of dialogue with the Prime Minister. Do not dare to allow anyone to dialogue on our behalf. We have clearly stated that there will be no dialogue and no negotiations. Our answer to the Prime Minister is that we have no political representation, said another student. Students even went as far as to ask the media to refuse to broadcast Rama's speech. Students from Korcha University, already part of the nationwide protest being performed by university students, have openly admitted that they have been threatened by politicians and professors. However, they are determined to see their plight through to the end of the road. Even protesting students in Jurakaste say that they are facing political threats to break up their movement. The students of Elbasan also kept the spirit of protest alive throughout the weekend break and returned to their action again today. They are convinced to show their support until the end. Tomorrow, after gathering at Elbasan, they said they would travel to join the protest in front of the Ministry of Education in Tirana. In addition to those who will travel to the capital, others will protest in the respective universities of the districts, where graduates and ordinary citizens are also expected to join. From observations made in the capital, it is noticeable that many betting entities are ceasing operation and vacating their premises. However, some casinos seem keen on milking these last few days before the law comes into effect as best they can in an attempt to withdraw as much profit as possible before closing their doors. The Sports Betting Association stated that until now 4,000 betting points have closed. 300 more are in the process of closing and are already removing TVs and computers. Many of these companies have sold their equipment, some even at a price below market cost. Many subjects have chosen to continue utilising their existing premises, however registering their new business as a bar or cafe. According to the law, starting from the 1st of January, all electronic casinos and sports betting facilities are legally required to cease operations. However, electronic slot machines may still be available for use in some five-star hotels. The gambling law restrictions should have come into force by January 2017. However, as a result of an amendment by the socialists themselves, the law was postponed a number of times. The municipality of Leja will ask that a mysterious object buried at a depth of 2.4 metres underground below the floor of the Cathedral of Shannikoli be opened for visitors. This site is known as the burial place for our national hero, George Kasriot-Skanderberg. The structure and the technique used to construct it have resulted in a hypothesis that it is a sarcophagus, but in-depth analysis and studies have been missing. A cultural heritage specialist says the opening of this facility enshrouded in mystery would bring visitors to the memorial of our national hero, which has now been reconstructed. The object that resembles a tomb was rediscovered a few months ago during the works for the restoration of the Skanderberg Memorial. The lid in the middle of the Shannikoli Cathedral has not been opened for years, even hiding parts of history. The magic of the holiday season has ignited in Korcha and Vlora this weekend, with the annual festive lights being turned on. In Vlora, the traditional tree is located in the area of the promenade, while the colourful decorations give vitality to the coastal town. Mayor Driton Leli lit the lights together with a group of children while wishing for a cheerful holidays. More peace, love and appreciation for each other, especially for the elderly and for grandparents to celebrate together as Vlora deserves, said Driton Leli. The ceremony was accompanied by a festive concert. As is the tradition of every year, the coastal city has opened up an ice skating rink, with all the decor having been implemented by students from the local industrial school. The festive atmosphere has begun to be felt in all cities, but the lights of the holiday have given a completely different dimension to the city of Korcha, aiming to return it to being a tourist destination for the end of the year. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join us again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.